The first 3 to 5 years, they are brutal for almost everyone in litigation. Even the seniors who right now are looking comfortable, they have gone through this path. Your income is not dependent on the time. It will grow when you become genuinely useful for someone who pays you properly, or when you start getting your own matters, or probably when you switch to a better setup. Question right now is not that, why is this happening to me? The question you should be asking is, what am I going to do in the next 3 years so that my year four is different? I'm going to give you the exact survival plan. Step one is, please stop bleeding money. I know you're barely making anything, but that's exactly why you need to control where it goes. Make a brutal budget. Like, list everything, prioritize rent, food, travel to court, phone bill. Everything else can wait. Cut it for now. Prioritize what your priorities are. No subscription, no eating out, no impulsive shopping. Share wherever you can. Don't say that I deserve this because I work hard. I'm not saying that this is going to stay forever, but say that for a couple of months, I'm going to do this. The trick over here is, whatever you save, even if it is like 500 per month, put it in an automatic SIP or recurring deposit, anything. Treat it like an EMI you just cannot skip, because 6 months from now, when work is slow and you are panicking, that small buffer will keep you sane. Step two is, do not depend on one senior right now. You're probably working with one senior, and if they don't give you work, you have nothing. That is dangerous. What you can do is keep working with your main senior, but also start taking small independent matters on the side. Things with quick turnaround, like traffic challan, like bail application, rent disputes, petty criminal matters, notice drafting. So I know this won't make you rich, but 2,000 here, 3,000 there, it adds up. And more importantly, you are building your own practice while still learning from your senior. Also try this, that offer some back-end support to busy lawyers. Like, I'll do your drafting, I'll do this research, I'll write the submission, I'll do the e-filing. Tell them that I'll handle this for you for, let's say, 3,000 per month as a retainer. So they will get reliable help and you will get predictable income. Win-win for both. Step three is, build side income inside law. Like, you're already a lawyer, yeah? Use that. Like legal drafting. Assist small businesses and individuals who need help in simple contracts, employment letters, agreements, website terms and conditions. They do not need fancy terms. They don't have the budget as well. They need someone who's reliable, who can charge reasonably. So put the word out, start small, like say 1,000, 2,000 per draft. It's not glamorous, I know, but it's money. But you are making money while you sleep. Second option, which I did, was teaching. So you know more than law students do, right? Use that. Teach weekend, teach online, classes on how to draft, practical implication, how to read judgment, how to write a good CV or cover letter. Learn by the side and teach. So you can charge like 500 per student, 1,000 per student, depending. Get 10 students. That's like 5 to 10,000 extra per month. Or one simple hack is, record it once and sell it as a module. Passive income, sleep and you earn, right? Step four is the most important for long run, is become irreplaceable in one thing at least. The truth is that seniors do not pay juniors more because they feel generous. They pay because the junior is solving a problem. They easily cannot do it. They cannot replicate it. So pick just 1-2 things seniors hate doing and become the best of it. And become the best at it. Complex research notes, crisp argument writing, bail application, e-filing. I'm telling you, a lot of seniors still don't want to deal with technicalities. When you are juniors who can draft a solid written argument in, like, say, 24 hours, or who even messes up e-filing, or who can dig up that one case that saves the matter, you become harder to replace. Step 5 is, build a visible niche. Over the next 1 to 2 years, pick one area you are going to become known for. That's not a general practice, something very specific. Check bounce, recovery, employment disputes, consumer case, motor accident claims. Why? Because when someone has that type of case, they will just think of you first. And here's how you can make yourself visible: is post small insight on LinkedIn or Instagram, even WhatsApp group. Not long lectures, just Here's what most people get wrong about check bounce cases, or quick tip if you're filing a consumer complaint. Consistency matters more than perfection. One post a week is more than enough. In 6 months, people will start associating your name with that niche. So now is the bonus step 6. Use every safety net you can. Check your state bar council or local bar association if it has a welfare scheme. Some have emergency funds or subsidies for juniors, but it's not like a lot you can depend on. That's why it's like the last tip, but like 2000, 3000 extra when you're struggling, it matters. Just check. And if you need to take a part-time non-legal income for the next, like say 1 to 2 years, go for online tutoring, go for content writing, research assistance. I know it feels like you are not a full lawyer, but if you do that, you'll feel better to reach on the year 4 what we are targeting. You'll be able to pay your rent. You'll be able to stand up with pride. Keep that income until your legal practice can stand on its own. There's no shame in survival. Do not be shameful for anything which gets money and you're able to live a better life. I'm not going to tell you a hard truth, but let's just spill the bean that you are talented, you are smart, you worked hard, you got through law school. So now it's about the time. Now it's about time treating law like a business, not just as a profession. Because business has multiple income. We know that. It has a budget, it has a niche, it has a strategy. The juniors who make it through the first 3 years and build a solid practice, they're for long run. They're not necessarily the smartest. They are the ones who are most planned. Where I'm going to tell you what your year 4 can look like if you follow what I suggested in part 1 and part 2. If you do those things right, here's what is going to change. You have 2 to 3 steady income sources instead of depending on one senior. Now you are getting your own independent matters regularly. Seniors are paying you more because you're solving specific problems which you trained yourself for over the 3 years. You now have a small emergency fund, so slow months don't panic you anymore. People know your name in one area of practice. You are not rich, but you are stable. And stable is a huge upgrade from desperate, what you were in year 1. One last thing. I know this feels impossible right now. You are exhausted. You are stressed. You are actually wondering that if you did a right choice or not. But please remember that this is probably the hardest part of law, and every litigating lawyer goes through exactly what you're doing right now. The difference is they treated these 5 years as the foundational and not the ceiling. This is not the sky. You are meant for bigger things. You can survive this and you can build something solid on the other side of it, but only if you stop waiting for things to get better and start building up things so that they feel better. What's your move? Are you going to keep doing what you are doing or hope something would change magically? Or are you going to pick one thing from this list and start this week? I promise you that the junior who starts budgeting today, who takes one small independent matter this month, posts one insight online this week, that junior is going to be in a completely different place at a year from now. And you can be that junior. You just have to decide. Start messy, start small, but just start.